welcome to Nationwide, reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. You can follow this news broadcast live on nca.ng/live and all our social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Now, following the death of the Abia State PDP governorship candidates for the March 11, 2023 elections, INEC says the party should within 14 days conduct a fresh primary. INEC National Commissioner for Information Festus Okoye in an interview notes that the Commission's position is explicit in Section 33 of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended.
The period for substitution of candidates, the period for withdrawal of candidates has elapsed. But that is completely different. The same Section 33 of the Electoral Act provides that when a candidate dies, within a period that it is still possible to conduct a fresh primaries, that the political party whose candidate died shall inform the Independent National Electoral Commission of the fact of death and also provide evidence of death. And the moment they do that, they will also provide a timeline within a period of 14 days within which they will conduct fresh primaries to nominate a new candidate or a fresh candidate to become his governorship candidate. But if the candidate dies when election has already commenced, the deputy governorship candidate shall continue with the election as the governorship candidate and nominate a deputy to run with him. And so the law is very, very clear.
The Osun Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo has declared the immediate past governor of the state, Boyika Oyetola, winner of the July 16th governorship election. This is consequence upon the ruling that there must be deduction of invalid votes of 10 local government areas of the state from the total lawful votes cast. Details of this report will come to you subsequently. It's now 4 weeks to the general elections, and the Independent National Electoral Commission is meeting resident electoral commissioners to finalize preparations and to get updates on the collection of the PVCs. To ensure hitch-free exercise, mock accreditation is being conducted nationwide.
That movement of materials for the election to various locations nationwide is being concluded. The training of officials will commence shortly. Ongoing consultations with stakeholders will be intensified. Airlifting and delivery of sensitive materials to states of the Federation has gone far. Accreditation of national and international observers and the media is being finalized. Critical service providers in the area of transportation have reassured us of their commitment to efficient logistics for the movement of materials and personnel to various locations, while the security agencies have reaffirmed their readiness for the election. The Commission is encouraged by the determination of registered voters nationwide to collect their PVCs, and the Commission will not hesitate to consider additional measures to ensure that all citizens have ample opportunity to collect their PVCs ahead of the general election. The next step is to conduct field tests across the country involving actual voters. For this reason, and in readiness for the nationwide deployment, the Commission is conducting a mock accreditation of voters similar to what was done ahead of the Ekiti and Osun governorship elections. The mock accreditation will hold on Saturday, 4th February 2023, in 436 polling units nationwide.
Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission says it is reviewing PVC collection across the country vis-a-vis challenges identified and the resolve to ensure no voter is deliberately disenfranchised. This is as Nigerians count down to the final days of PVC collection to ensure they vote as the general elections. Lydia Sampson has the reports.
NTA correspondents who gave an on-the-spot assessment notes challenges of PVC collection varies across the country. However, issues of omissions of names due to double registration or inability to locate right collection points resonates across the country. The desire to vote candidates of their choice is a driven factor for Nigerians who are going the extra mile to collect their PVCs amidst visible challenges.
There are a whole lot of mix-up. People will come from far, going to the same place 3-4 times, and their cards were not seen or made available.
One can register, and on the point of collecting the PVC will not be there for him to access.
Here there are some people who have registered, but they have not seen their names, and with that they have not seen their voter's card.
Transfer of polling units and maybe wrongly spelled and some other issues.
Director of Voter Education and Publicity INEC, Victor Aluku, says INEC is not unmindful of matters arising from the PVC collection across the country.
Let us wait for all the 37 resident electoral commissioners to submit their data today at the meeting. And after that, the commission will issue a statement about the level of collection, the cards that are still outstanding.
Victor Aluku gave an assurance that more proactive measures will be taken to make necessary decisions for a more seamless process. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu says that support for him in the February 25th presidential election will translate to prosperity and development in the country. Tinubu gave the assurance at the APC presidential and governorship rally in Makurdi, Benue State. Musbao Namwahab reports.
It was the Makurdi rendezvous as the city made it a date with Tinubu Shetima campaign train at the Aperaku Stadium, which hosted stalwarts and followers of the APC. Benue and neighboring states have longed for end to the farmers' headers clashes and killings, and APC leaders here believed their candidate has what it takes to provide this solution if elected.
Very established people with the power of transformation, your vote counts.
Bola Tinubu said he brought the message of hope that a vote for him is for progress in key sectors of the nation's economy.
If you vote for APC, your headache is gone. We will bring hope back to the IDP. That is the end of misery. We are in a deplorable state. They have promised to lift us up. So let us give a vote in the next few weeks for them.
Although Benue State is currently in the hands of the opposition, APC says there is a resolve from the people to flip the state to the progressives. From Makurdi, Musbao and Wahab, NT News.
The Labour Party says arrangements have been concluded on aggressive sensitization of the public on its party's logo to assist party supporters identify candidates of the party vying for different elective positions in the forthcoming general elections. Chairman and governorship candidate of the party in Cross River State, Oga Osun, disclosed this at a press briefing held in Calabar. Justina Atim reports.
With the 2023 general elections by the corner, the Labour Party Cross River State chapter is fine-tuning arrangements to enhance victory of all its candidates at the polls. In this regard, The state's chairman and governorship candidate of the Labour Party is intimating members of the Fourth Estate of the realm on campaign activities for the remaining days, appealing for publicity.
Speak to your conscience, tell yourself the truth, and speak truth to our people. Let them know the right thing to do.
State Coordinator, Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Council, Professor James Epoke, hints on the track record of the Labour Party presidential candidate, who he says has all it takes to attract economic prosperity.
I want to participate and tell you that we have hope.
The Labour Party urged the media to utilize its agenda-setting role to sensitize eligible voters on the need to collect their permanent voter cards and participate fully in the electioneering process. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
In continuation of the Future Assured Cardiac Mission in Nigeria, Aisha Buhari Foundation, in collaboration with the private medical center, have engaged in a cardiology outreach in the country with the aim of providing free heart surgery to the affected patients towards bringing lasting solutions to their critical health challenges. Details of this report will come to you subsequently. We now go to Lagos to join Diola to lead us on stories from the Center of Excellence. How are you, Diola?
Hello, Lami. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. The Provost Marshal of Customs Police, Comptroller Aminu Abubakar, says high standards of professionalism will continue to be maintained in the discharge of the duties. The customs boss stated this during a familiarization tour to several customs area commands in the Southwest Zone. Ese Onwamaka reports.
Assumption of duty, the newly appointed Provost Marshal of Customs Police, Aminu Abubakar, was accompanied by officers of the unit on a familiarization tour to several customs area commands in the Southwest Zone. Speaking during the visit, the customs boss urged the officers of the command to uphold the tenets of the profession and ensure total compliance to duties assigned by the Comptroller General of Customs.
Definitely, we have been given the best of resources by the service, and so I believe myself and our officers will do our best to make sure that we have maintained the standard expected from us in the service. It is said to whom much is given, much is expected.
The Deputy Provost Marshal, Saleh Belosani, stated that the purpose of the visit is to enhance the working relationship between the command and other sister agencies for the actualization of the Commission's objectives.
This is to foster the already existing unity and cooperation in the development of the unit. We've been undergoing training with the military, with the police, and other sister security agencies. This makes us so unique because when you train with other sister agencies, you tap their vast knowledge.
Places visited by the Provost Marshal include Seme Border Area Command, Idiroko Area Command, amongst others. In Lagos, Ese Owamaka, NT News.
Participants at the Election Monitoring and Support Center Amber Zone State Level Implementation Workshop in Lagos are brainstorming on how to enhance planning for the electoral activities ahead of the general elections. The training is being organized by the Independent National Electoral Commission with support from Development Alternatives Incorporated, DAI, and European Union. Ruth Arias Samuel reports.
The workshop is aimed at sensitizing INEC staff on electoral management, matters arising in electoral activities, and adopting the support system where necessary. Facilitators state roles of stakeholders in clear statistics in readiness for the election in terms of timelines, communication gaps, collation of data on the implementation so as to provide guidelines.
We are now in the situation where reports have to be daily. You know, this tool, this EMSC tool, is to monitor, track activities.
Giving them instruments or what is popularly known as questionnaires before we came here, for them to give us on a list of items what they have received, what they have not received, what are the shortfalls, and what kinds of challenges they are facing, so that we'll collect all of this here and then start addressing systematically the gaps that may be there.
Viewing this task as national responsibility, these electoral umpires believed the training is well timed.
We are going back to the states. Get the electoral officers also trained, because they are the people that are going to implement this thing at the grassroots level.
And at the end of this training, we hope to go back to our various states to cascade the training to all our staff.
The pre-election activities on the INEC timetable is tagged Hamba Zone, where issues discussed include monitoring, advisory, coordination of support, and the implementation of electoral plans right at the grassroots. In Lagos, Larry Bileyi, NTA News.
That was actually Larry's report there, and that's it from Lagos. But remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Lemi after this timeout. To stay with us. Thanks for joining us again. The Osun Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo has declared the immediate past governor of the state, Gboyega Oyetola, winner of the July 16th governorship election. This is consequent upon the ruling that there must be deduction of invalid votes of 10 local governments from the total lawful votes cast. Joshua Gunjide will bring us the detail.
The majority of the three-man panel led by Justice Tetsikume has declared the July 16 governorship election that produced Senator Ademola Adeleke as governor-elect as null and void. It therefore ordered the withdrawal of the certificate of return from Ademola Adeleke, having admitted that overvoting occurred in the July 16 Osun governorship election. Therefore, the tribunal ordered a recount and deduction of invalid votes from the total lawful votes cast in 774 polling units across 10 local government areas of the state. The court admitted that there are certain inconsistencies between the numbers of total votes cast, accreditation of voters, physical inspection report presented by INEC as contained in the petition. Dismissing the objections of INEC, Ademola Adeleke and the People's Democratic Party, Justice Tetsikume for the rule that since the number of total vote cast exceeds the number of registered voters, the Electoral Act 2022 provided that the poll at such affected unit must be cancelled and nullified. In a dissenting judgment, Justice Benefit Ogbuli disagreed with the majority judgment delivered by the chairman, saying that the expert witnesses of APC and Oyetola did not satisfactorily prove their case.
In the opinion of that judge, he felt that the beavers report that the other side tendered, should supersede the one that we got and we tendered. We are dissatisfied, and the necessary legal steps for the purpose of challenging that judgment, we will embark upon it.
Nigerians, people from Osun should be calm. There are constitutional provisions on what should be done.
Earlier on, Justice Tetsikume had ruled that Adeleke's credentials as contained in Form EC9 and File D are legally binding to contest the July 16 Osun governorship poll, having added to his educational qualification in the United States. With the ruling of the tribunal, the totality of valid votes cast for Oyetola is 314,931 as against the 290,266 votes for Ademola Adeleke. In the meantime, Governor Ademola Adeleke in a press conference has rejected the verdict of the tribunal and vowed to proceed to appeal court. In Osogbo, Joshua Okuchide, NTA News.
In continuation of the Future Assured Cardiac Mission in Nigeria, the Aisha Buhari Foundation, in collaboration with a private medical center, have engaged in cardiology outreach in the country with the aim of providing free heart surgery to the affected patients towards bringing lasting solutions to their health challenges. State House correspondent Aliwu Kabir has the details.
With the successful surgeries of various heart diseases embarked by the Future Assured program in collaboration with the Italian surgeons, the foundation has extended the gesture through partnership with some of the Abuja-based private medical centers. This phase, it was the adults that benefited from the exercise. The program, funded by the Aisha Buhari Foundation, aimed at bringing succor to Nigerians towards improving the health of the nation.
We had a total of 22 interventions done. We had 10 open heart surgeries done. We also had about 13 interventional cardiology cases done. And we thank God that everybody is alive and well. We thank God for the First Lady for her committing her resources to ensure this will be a success.
13 patients have benefited from the exercise. 10 of them were treated at Cedar Crest Hospital, while 3 at the Cardiocare Multispeciality Hospital. The surgeries carried out by the Nigerian-based team were all successful.
We can do a lot here in Nigeria. We can do a lot for our people. We can do a lot with our people, and with local experience and local expertise and local equipment that is here available in Nigeria. We did quite a number of cases over the last week.
I must actually thank Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who sponsored this program and who was able to bring smiles to the face of these Nigerians.
Some of the beneficiaries have expressed their happiness. The First Lady reaffirmed her commitment to continue to support the health and the general well-being of women, youth and children. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
We join Agatha in Benin for more stories on Nationwide. It's over to you.
A warm welcome to Benin. To contain rising cases of maternal and infant mortality in Nigeria, a simulation center to tackle obstetrics and gynecological health complications has been established in the University of Benin. The center, equipped with facilities for innovative training of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals, including pediatrics, is facilitated by a US-based institution. Choice of Uniben for the center is because of performance of its Center of Excellence in Reproductive Health Innovation. Health experts from Boston Children's Hospital in Harvard University, USA, supervised installation of the facilities, a high-fidelity mannequin, dummy infants, monitors, defibrillators, and enablers. They also trained the first set of professionals who will in turn train others on deployment of the facilities.
Has been so successful over the last 7 years, expanding reproductive health training and masters, PhDs, professional short courses, that it's the perfect home for such a high-level training program.
For the Vice Chancellor of Uniben and leader of Center for Reproductive Health Innovation, the institution has made a mark in maternal and child health simulation.
This is the first time that we are having a simulation lab of this nature, not only in Nigeria, I think maybe in Africa really. And of course, this is going to make the teaching and learning of medical students, their training, much easier. It's a full package. It's like a one-stop shop.
That we are starting very small, but by the grace of God, in not 3 months, we are going to expand it so that the whole of Africa is with a simulation lab that will be almost similar to the one they have at the Harvard.
An obstetrics gynecologist, Dr. Ken Madwako, is among the first set of professionals to handle the facilities.
All you need to do on the mannequin is actually what you're required to do on humans. And at that point, you hardly would tell the difference.
The Uniben Simulation Center is expected to extend training to other universities and teaching hospitals in West African sub-region. Away from health, Benin residents are lamenting over scarcity of fuel, which many say. Goodluck Enaini monitored the situation and reports that it is expensive and difficult to get fuel.
Long queues, agitations and frustrations from both buyers and those dispensing the product are noticeable seen in petrol stations that managed to sell for between 295 and 300 naira per litre at the time the news crew visited.
Yesterday, I was here until they switch off their pump nozzle, and we all went and slept in darkness. There is no light, and this is the way we can get light, and we are being deprived of getting premium spirit.
We are buying at 295, yet the queue wait the year from a Kenwa Road barracks. Not only this place now we manage see fuel.
We have been waiting to buy fuel since morning. The suffering is too much, I beg. We will suffer to change money, suffer to buy fuel. We don't know what is happening. We don't know the solution.
No doubt, the result effects are numerous: increased transportation fare, loss of hours of productivity and appointment, as well as undue pressure.
I pay transport from my house to Uselu Market, 100 Naira. It was 100 Naira before.
While most of the filling stations in the metropolis have remained without the product, the black market trade of the commodity is thriving, as a 4-liter jerrycan of the product sells for 5,000 Naira. Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company NNPC Limited filling station along Saple Road, though had long queues, is selling at a federal government regulated price of 179 Naira per liter. In Benin, good luck in INEC. NT News.
Lami, that's it here. It's back to you.
Thank you so much, Agatha. Now, as Nigeria counts down to the general elections, the issue of cybersecurity is a critical component to ensure the internet space is well fortified. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Alipantami, and the European Union Election Observation Mission are discussing the best way forward. Chimdimma Ndubisi has details of their interaction.
The elections are just few weeks ahead, a period when misinformation, hate speech or fake news in the cyberspace could have dire consequences. Our team from the European Union Election Observation Mission to Nigeria is meeting with the Chief of ICT Operations in Nigeria to raise key areas of concern.
The more specifics that we are interested in is the rules and regulations when it comes to social media.
So it will be really useful for us if you can give us an overview of the framework, the privacy of the data, freedom of information.
If you look at the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, Section 37 is very clear that we must ensure data privacy. In order to enforce that, we came up with the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, fake news, hate speeches. When our intervention is required, in order to manage it effectively, they will get back to us to ensure that that is not allowed on our cyberspace. But it's not our role to identify what is fake news. Today, to the best of my knowledge, we don't have any misunderstanding whatsoever with Twitter. Twitter admits that as a government, we are not fighting freedom of speech.
The European Union Election Observation Team has been on ground since 11th January 2023, training its delegates for deployment to various states during the exercise. In Abuja, Chimdimma Ndubisi, NTA News.
Allegations are making the rounds on social media that some banks are rejecting the old Naira notes days to the 31st January deadline by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Boside Abel, who has been updating us on the cashless policy, went out to investigate the allegations and now reports.
The Central Bank at the just concluded Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja assured Nigerians that the Apex Bank is currently printing more bank notes, which would be supplied to banks to boost availability, as the old note would expire at the end of the month. But then, there's been allegations that some banks are rejecting the old notes while holding the new ones or giving to favored customers, thereby causing apprehension among citizens. Let's get to find out how true these allegations are.
No, I don't have an experience, so I will not abide by the allegation. If I have gone to a bank and they rejected my money, I will accept. I don't accept things that I don't see with my eyes.
I went to the bank. They accept pay-in, but collection, there's no new cash inside the bank, but they will tell you, go to the ATM.
I went to the bank, I deposit the odd money, 100,000 Naira, and they receive it successfully.
If I give them money, I want want to collect money again to do my business, they will still give me back that same old money I gave them back. They say I should go to the ATM, and the ATM dispensing only 20,000 naira.
Since I've been even this morning I deposit, and I'm going to deposit in FCMB now. I have never seen it. But the only thing, if one withdraw across the counter, they will still give old note.
And it's not everywhere that you can pay online or do transfer and all that. So the situation is a little bit challenging.
Where you are not being attended to, and it's like frustration.
We must excite patients because it's actually the government know why they made this policy for Nigerians.
We don't reject old note. We are still collecting it. In fact, we'll still be here at office tomorrow, Saturday. We'll still be here on Sunday to still collect the old notes.
From our investigations, no one could confirm that their old notes were rejected by the banks, most of which are abiding by the CBN's directive to collect old notes. We, however, observe that the January 31 deadline has created panic withdrawal at most ATMs within the FCT. In Abuja, Bosede Ebo, NTA News.
Residents of Gaidam in the eastern part of Yobe State heave a sigh of relief following swift response of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, as it extends its direct cash swap initiative to the area. Mustafa Musa reports that prior to the Apex Bank's intervention, large percentage of the residents were thrown into confusion over limited access to the new Naira notes.
It's ticking non-stop towards the 31st January deadline set by the Central Bank of Nigeria to phase out the circulation of the affected banknotes in the country. The residents of Gaidam in Yobe State are among the communities whose hues and cries were even louder as the only commercial bank in the area was destroyed 12 years ago by insurgents, coupled with non-availability of the redesigned currencies. Their earlier appeal to authorities concerned to intervene came at a time when the Apex Bank dispatches its officials to assist the residents in exchanging their old notes with the new banknotes, a move that has since impacted positively on the economic activities in the eastern corridor of Yobe State.
We are in Gaidam in continuation of the sensitization and awareness on the redesigned currency notes, and also to conduct the currency cash swap program of the bank. The deadline is too closer because we cannot even reach the villagers because of this swap program. We appreciate this program. The time limit is very small.
The visiting Central Bank of Nigeria team used the platform to further create awareness on the demonetization of the old notes and urged the public to do the needful before the expiry of the Apex Bank window. From Gaidam in Yobe State, Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
And a coalition of civil society organizations has taken a sensitization campaign on the redesigned Naira notes to some markets in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports that the exercise aims at persuading traders to comply with the monetary policy of the CBN.
We are here to tell them.
This is another sensitization exercise embarked upon by a coalition of civil society organizations. This time, the focus is on the redesigned Naira notes, which was introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria to replace 200, 500 and 1,000 notes. 31st January is the deadline for them being legal tenders.
The new note has come to stay. The cashless policy has come to stay. Market people, carry your old notes to the bank. It is very important so that the monies with you will not get expired. That's why I said
The traders also expressed their grievances with the process.
They don't need to ban this to the old one. They need to allow it. If it's going to the bank, they will be withdrawing it small, so that it will not affect much people.
That plan they gave for us before they print the money, let them establish the plan, make the money circulate.
I wanted to buy something yesterday with 1,000 naira. They refused to collect it.
At ATM, na 10,000 they get. I enter inside counter. Now the same old money, then give it to me. As they give it to me, waiting I go do.
Carry your old Naira to the bank.
They suggested extension of the deadline as well as stiffer penalty to commercial banks that impede the process. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Still on the cashless policy, with less than 96 hours to the deadline given by the Central Bank of Nigeria for the old notes to cease being used as legal tender, some states are still facing the challenge of gaining access to the new Naira notes. Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi compiled updates from some states across the nation.
From Akwa Ibom, Clement Barikui reports that residents in the rural communities are raising alarm over the rejection of the old Naira notes by some commercial banks in their areas.
I went to the bank to deposit some money I had with me. When I get there, the person in charge of that bank told me that they have stopped collecting the old note.
In Sokoto, economic activities have also been affected in rural communities, as reported by Zainab Saidu Abdul Nasir. And from Cross River State, Paul Abel reports that the Central Bank of Nigeria has expressed dismay over the attitude of some commercial banks that halt the redesigned Naira notes in rural areas.
Is anyone that's paying? So how much have you? I will 5,000 Naira.
After some time, he stopped paying, meaning that the money was not enough to carry the population of Yaka.
In Anambra, residents call for the extension of old notes submission deadline.
This one they are saying 31st is not favorable for us. They should extend it at least the end of February.
If they said they are not going to extend it, what do we do? It's a very difficult something.
In Kabakogi State, Jonathan Omajili reports that businesses and residents are in a race to beat the January 31 deadline.
I'm just from the bank now, and they told me they cannot even get one single new notes for me, just to get something that will keep me, for my upkeep for some few days now.
With each passing day, they say the reality of incurring losses looms as some residents and business owners complain of the non-circulation of the newly redesigned Naira notes. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
The Co-Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Abiu, has expressed concern over increasing numbers of road crashes involving 18-seater buses across the country. He said, while briefing the media, such buses are only meant for intrastate movements, so its use for interstate travels must be discouraged. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
The month of January 2023 for the Federal Safety Corps is said to have started on the note of concern. This is due to the increase in road crashes in parts of the country, with casualty figures that cannot be ignored. For the FRSC Corps Marshal, major causes include overspeeding, driving under influence of alcohol, incessant night travels, amongst others, as well as the use of vehicles not designed for long travels.
We are talking about this night journey. If people can just be patient and then do these journeys in the daytime. And then, as we said also, these 18-seater buses are not actually designed for interstate travels. They are not designed. They are designed for short distance travels. So we want to encourage people, the rail that is available, people should exploit it.
As a way of stemming the tide of road crashes in the country, CORE is constituting a think tank to map out strategic initiatives to upgrade enlightenment campaigns in motor parks across the country. The CORE also discouraged night driving, which remains the major cause of road crashes in the country. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
We take a break, but stay tuned as more stories will come to you when we return. Welcome back to Nationwide. Nasarawa State Government has summoned an emergency meeting with all heads of security agencies and leaders of Fulani in the state over killings in the boundary community of Duma, local government area of the state. Aliu Tijani reports that all traditional rulers in the state also met with the governor over the killings.
Following killings of some persons in boundary communities of Nasarawa and Benue states, which investigation is ongoing to unravel perpetrators of the act, the state government has been engaging stakeholders to douse tension. The latest meeting with leaders of Fulani in the state is to synergize with them over the attack and appeal to them to remain calm. Also in attendance are all heads of security agencies in the state who are sure of adequate security, especially in boundary communities of Nasarawa and Benue states.
We are able to hear from them firsthand exactly what has happened, and we heard about all the various losses of the cattle that happened. In addition to that, we were able to pacify them, and we took a decision that we will take this matter up with the federal government.
Similar engagement between Governor Abdullahi Sule and all traditional rulers in the state dwells on how to deepen peace-building process. While traditional rulers sympathized with the state government over the unfortunate incidents, the royal fathers promised to robust dialogue for true reconciliation. National Chairman of APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, also sympathized with the state government over the incident and calls for calm. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
To cushion the plight of widows of fallen heroes, wife of the Inspector General of Police, Hajara Al-Ali Baba, has distributes bags of rice and a pair of wrapper each to spouses of the seized personnel. Francis Fom reports that wives of officers and men in line of duty were also not left out of the IGP's wife's humanitarian gesture.
These are spouses of police officers and men who died in the line of duty, including those whose husbands are still in the battlefield. They are in a joyous mood, courtesy wife of the Inspector General of Police, Hajara Al-Ali Baba, who presented a bag of rice and a pair of wrapper each to them.
But we thank God for police to save our life, to give us food. We thank God for them.
We are really happy this afternoon for what Mama did to women. We really appreciate her. May God bless her abundantly in Jesus' name.
Barely 1 week, the Inspector General of Police presented checks to families of officers and men who died in the line of duty, including those who sustained injuries. Wife of the IGP said, this is our own little way of putting smile on the faces of widows of the fallen heroes, while appreciating those whose husbands are still working day and night to safeguard lives and property.
Immediately we came on board, we had it like this. And this year I'd wanted doing it on the 20th, but Allah knows the best. But today, being January, I decided to do it to put another smile on their faces.
A total of 1,500 women benefited from the IGP's wife gesture. Francis from NTA News.
12 persons have been arraigned before the Senior Magistrate Court 7 for the alleged murder of the village head of Lambata, Muhammad Abdul Safur. Mukhtar Wubu reports that the suspects were arraigned on a 6-count charge.
The 12 suspects, including the acclaimed factional village head of Lambata, Omar Ilyasu, were arraigned by the prosecution for alleged criminal trespass into the houses of the slain village head and his son, Muhammad Abdul Safur and Ibrahim Muhammad, respectively. The false information report by the police alleged that the suspects, without any provocation, attacked and maltreated the village head, Muhammad Abdul Safur, leading to his death, and inflicted injuries on some members of his family. The suspects were charged for criminal conspiracy, criminal trespass, mischief, causing grievous hurt, culpable homicide, and belonging to a gang of thugs, contrary to Section 97, 348, 327, 248, 221 of the Penal Code Law. The accused persons denied all the charges before the court. The prosecution thereafter requested for more time for the police to complete investigation and to make efforts to arrest the remaining suspects at large.
The fate of the accused persons lies on the law.
That is involved. So ordinarily, it's not ordinarily valuable.
Having no objection from the plaintiff's counsel, Senior Magistrate Fatih Kabir granted the prosecution's request and adjourned the case to 16th of February 2023 for further mention. She ordered that the suspects be remanded in the correctional center. In Mina, Mukhtar, NTA News.
Now, members of the Presidential Amnesty Program Strategic Communications Committee have condemned moves by a section of ex-agitators to truncate the efforts of the federal government towards accomplishing the goals of the Amnesty Program. The group, while describing as false the allegations of fraud against implementers of the program, made their position known at a briefing in Port Harcourt. Osun Ibrahim has the details.
Addressing newsmen in Port Harcourt, Chairman Presidential Amnesty Program Strategic Communications Committee, General Dumale Kaihe, says the campaign of calumny against the federal government and some key officials of the Presidential Amnesty Program by a section of ex-agitators is condemnable.
I want to advise our people to take advantage of the peace-building department of the Presidential Amnesty Program and make all their reports known to that department so that we can have, relative peace in the Niger Delta region.
He further says that the federal government, the National Security Advisor, and the interim administrator, Presidential Amnesty Program, should be commended for effectively implementing the Amnesty Program. He appealed to the group to desist from actions that could truncate the initiative.
As we speak now, the Federal Civil Service has agreed to employ 3,000 ex-agitators into civil service.
The briefing is conducted in collaboration with the leadership of the first, second, and third phase of ex-agitators. In Port Harcourt, Osun Ibrahim, NTA News.
About 300 Christian pilgrims from Benue, Delta and Kogi states have been airlifted from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, to the Kingdom of Jordan and Israel. Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, urged them to be good ambassadors of the country and pray for the success of the 2023 general elections. Zanret Dingmum reports.
This is the fifth batch to be airlifted to be part of the 2022 spiritual exercise. The pilgrims are urged to take advantage of the exercise for a deep spiritual awakening, prayers and restoration for the country, even as the nation moves to elect new leaders in the coming weeks.
We have seen the states well behaved, and not like before that people are eager to go for pilgrimage to abscond and to leave the country. These days we see discipline. These days we see Nigerians who are patriotic, lovers of their own country. They go and come back and remain loyal and law-abiding to the country.
The purpose of this trip or this travel or pilgrimage is to pray, is to seek for spiritual empowerment, is to be imparted upon, it is to walk on the path that Jesus walked.
Every Nigerian that is going on this exercise, we advise and counsel to be of worthy character, to represent the nation well, to pray for the nation.
The pilgrims were committed to God in prayers for safety and successful experience as they sojourn to the Holy Lands. In Abuja, Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
That's nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. Have a good evening.